Yes, 3 years on, April the 14th, 2014 is a date that the whole world will not forget in a hurry. Nigerians were still reeling from the shock of a motor park bombing in the nation's capital, Abuja, on this day when Boko Haram militants struck again.
276 schoolgirls were abducted from their school in CHIBOK town in Nigeria's northeastern state of Borno exactly 3 years today. About 50 of these girls escaped on their own within hours of their kidnapping, mostly by jumping off the lorries and running into the bushes. Others were not so lucky and they were carted away by their abductors.
Now, some of the girls had their release negotiated by government, while others were found wandering on the fringes of the forest. At least 195 girls are still in captivity, while 18 parents of the abducted girls have died, unfortunately.
Indeed, Amina Aileen Keke was the first of the abducted Chibok girls to be found, along with her baby and Mohammed Hayatu, a suspected Boko Haram militant, on May the 17th, 2016. 21 girls were released by Boko Haram after negotiations with the Nigerian government brokered by the International Committee of the Red Cross and the Swiss government on October 13th, 2016.
Another girl, Mariam Ali Mayanga, was found and rescued along with her baby by the Nigerian Army on November the 5th, 2016. Rekia Abubakar, one of the abducted girls, and her baby were found on January the 5th, 2017. Now, days have turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, and it is now 1,096 days, yet many others are still missing, and many Nigerians are still asking, where are the remaining 195 Chibok girls?
That's the big question.
Well, joining us now on Skype is the strategic team member of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, Abubakar Abdullahi is the name. Now, the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has said that negotiations are ongoing for the release of the remaining Chibok girls. I wonder how optimistic you are that before long we'll find more girls. But the challenge, like the VP has said, is that you have two different factions, the one led by Shekau himself and Abu Musab al-Banawi, and that makes it even more difficult for negotiations to be carried out successfully. What's your take on all of this?
Well, it is really true that Boko Haram got factioned some time ago, and that there are two different strands of leadership. But even the previous negotiation that led to the release of the our 21 Chibok girls was done under a similar scenario. So we don't see it as a hindrance. We are optimistic that our girls are going to be released and that all of them are going to be accounted for in a short while. We just ask that the government put in a bit more effort, be more dedicated to this, and our girls will return.
There are issues that the government is particularly too quiet about this, and there was a request for the report on the presidential committee that was set up in 2014 to be availed. Your group, the Bring Back Our Girls, some of them requested for this report to be made public. So the issue of Freedom of Information Act, how is that helping out?
Well, we're still hitting brick walls. The report is absolutely necessary because we need to learn lessons. We need to learn lessons of all the breaches that happened that led to this abduction, but also because our girls deserve justice. The report is a critical part of getting to that justice. Also, the current administration promised a separate inquiry. The committee was supposed to be set up since 2015. As we speak now, we are still waiting for the committee to get to work. It doesn't inspire confidence at the moment that committee has not begun work and has not gotten back to Nigerians. But what is even more pressing is the fact that there are two committees that held inquiries on this particular incident. We need to have it out. These inquiries were done with taxpayers' money, And taxpayers deserve to know what led to the abduction of our Chibok girls. First, as a measure, as a way of giving our girls justice, but more importantly, and going forward, as a way of ensuring that it doesn't happen again.
All right, we'll continue with our discussion with Abubakar Abdullahi. He's a member of the Bring Back Girls. 3 years on, according to BBOG's hashtag 3 years too long and hashtag no more excuses. That's what the BBOG is saying. And a UNICEF report actually says that since 2014, about 117 children have been used to commit suicide bomb attacks, and most of them are girls. And I wonder what the BBOG feels about this. Abubakar, this UNICEF report, how troubling is it to you? Since 2014, 117 children have been used in suicide attacks. It does seem that as the world focuses on this Chibok girls' return, the Boko Haram continues with its atrocities. Unfortunately, we can't get audio from our guests. Abubakar Abdullahi will try to fix that as quickly as possible. Of course, it's 3 years that the world woke up to a very tragic story. News about 276 girls abducted from their school in Chibok. Chibok has become a name that is in the consciousness of the whole world for all the wrong reasons.
When it happened,
sleepy town.
When it happened in 2014,
yes,
the tweet that you had just within that period was about 3 million Twitter handle going on there, talking about bring back our girls, and of course Michelle Obama gave it a bite, and that really helped.
That gave it a totally new dimension. You know, Abubakar Abdullahi is still on Skype with us. The question I was asking you earlier, since 2014, a UNICEF report actually came out saying that 117 or so children have been involved in suicide attacks from Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. And most of them are girls. And I'm wondering, do you think there's a link between these girls, the Chibok girls that were abducted from their school, and the number of girls that are involved in this suicide attacks? And how does that come to you?
Well, first and foremost, any child used in a suicide attack is a tragedy. It's a tragedy that should get people worried in this country. It is extremely serious, and that is why for 3 years we have been pressing on this matter, that our girls need to be released as soon as possible. They need to be rescued as soon as possible. We have no reason to believe that our Chibok girls are one of the 117. All the evidence so far, or all the communications from people who have been released from behind enemy lines, shows that our girls are safe, and we hold on to that hope. But any child, Chibok girl or not, who is used in a suicide attack should be a tragedy for our country, and we consider it a serious tragedy. And we feel that the war against Boko Haram needs to be expedited, that our children need to be protected. We've seen remarkable progress in the war from the end of 2014 to, of course, the progress made in 2015 that led also to the release of 24 girls so far who have been found, but also to thousands of other Nigerians who have returned from behind enemy lines. This is real progress, but we have to finish the job. For our 195 girls, for example, today is 3 years behind enemy lines with their captives. For others, it may be longer, especially those whose names have not been taken down because of also the failure of our institutions that made it so that people can go missing without a single record or a single trace of them.
Okay, let's stick with that report. If you break the report down, it actually says 27 children carry out suicide attacks in West Africa in the first 3 months of this year alone, which doesn't include perhaps the Chibok girls. But the question really is, the girls that are back are talking about reintegration analysis, so you don't have them even radicalizing the innocent children out there. What's your take on that?
Well, the ones that are back are going through a rehabilitation process, as we are being led to understand by the federal government. We keep getting reports of 21, and so we're wondering what's going on with the other 3. We've been told that the other 3 are also at a different stage, and that's why they are not together with the 21 currently. Now, back to your question about reintegration and denying the opportunity for changing the minds of these young ones. It is critical that we attack root causes of the insurgency in the first place, but also provide alternatives that ensure that our people do not have a reason to join. One of those alternatives is access to education. The other must be access to livelihoods. That means that people don't look forward 5, 10 years and realize there's nothing on offer for them.
Yes.
That's the only way we can stop this, this insurgency.
Of course, you cannot overemphasize the need to de-radicalize these children through education. And authorities are actually saying they're preparing to reopen the Chibok government school there in Borno State. Abubakar Abdullahi, thank you so much for joining us this morning on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's bring in Foladele. Of course, as usual, people have something to say.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Salami. Happy Good Friday.
Bring back our girls.
Bring back our girls, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's find out what people are saying online. Miss Maureen Kabrik says, imagine if any of the 195 Chibok girls that are yet to be rescued were your daughter. Will you give up on her? Countdown to 3 years of abduction. Stefan Simanowitz says, 3 years after Chibok schoolgirls were abducted, nearly 200 are still missing. Hashtag bring back our girls, hashtag Chibok girls. Next one, from Mortala, who says, hashtag bring back our girls, hashtag countdown to 3 years. President Muhammadu Buhari has done a lot to bring captives, including Chibok girls, back home. More is needed to bring everyone back home. Mazi Olisemeka says, today marks 3 years Chibok girls were abducted. Till now, 195 girls are still missing, and no one is saying anything about it. It's all right. Sugar Bay says, there's nothing like missing Chibok girls.
No, we don't even want to go there.
And the last one here from Your Obsession says, they will bring them once election is near as strategy for appraisal. Very interesting one there. I know really? Abdullah is gone, right?
Yes,
so, yeah,
indeed.
Yes, but yeah, I know the tweet before this one, you were saying let's not even go there. But you know, it's interesting. There are a couple of tweets like that. Yeah. People saying, "Are you really sure these girls are missing?" I don't really believe it.
There are people who still believe strongly that the whole Chibok girl thing is a farce.
It's a scam, and it makes you wonder. I mean, what's then our Bring Back Our Girls campaigners fighting for? If they're so passionate about it, do you think?
If you also listen to the girls that came back, some reports that we got that after they were abducted, they were taken to a particular place. They were in a building, a known building in a particular state. So, of course, that kind of put holes in some kind of the theories we are wandering around. Well, perhaps, who knows? Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, Busalami.
Fola,
anything is possible. Thank you so
much.
Thank
you so much. Hope to see you again then.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, let's take a quick break and return with more on TVC Breakfast.